I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video I will bring to you the best Launchpad token to buy right now during the Bitcoin crash. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. I am talking about FireStarter, one of the Launchpads that I'm considering taking a large entry in. I have been eyeballing this project for the last couple of weeks. It looks like quite a decent launchpad, and in this video I will cover everything you need to know. Current Bitcoin price sitting at $36,437. Lost tradable volume significant, right? Let's just leave it at that. When we look at the last 3-month pattern, we see a linear downward trend on Bitcoin, as when we compare it to FireStarter, which only launched at about the 13th, 14th of October. We can see a quick upward trend based on their IDOs, and that's what we usually see with Launchpad. So when they have IDOs and require staking, the price goes up, and after IDOs, when staking becomes unlocked, you see a linear downward trend. With the movement of Bitcoin, basically the last month, we see a linear downward trend in general, but that's basically aligned with the last month of Bitcoin as well. Taking a steady decrease on the 20th, where this has already dropped so much, so there's not a huge significant downward trend there. However, we do see a big opportunity coming up, basically reaching a all-time low on FireStarter. So with Launchpads, obviously you need to get allocation in terms of how many tokens you stake. So you need to lock your flame and get access to the upcoming IDOs on FireStarter, and you can also earn flame by providing liquidity. Liquidity is not something I'm interested in. However, I would be willing to lock my flame tokens to get access to their projects. When we look at the projects they have ready, they're currently operating CyberTrade on the Binance Smart Chain. Up and coming is 1-11 Games, and they got the Illumina Crown. So the Illumina Crown on Solana is definitely one project I'm highly looking forward to. There hasn't been an announcement yet. They completed their own FireStarter token, Decimated, which I've covered, Nicky Diamond's NFT, Heroes AG, and Animal Concepts they have completed as well just a couple of days ago on the Ethereum blockchain. So out of the 3 running projects, I think CyberTrade is quite cool. 1-11 Games I haven't researched, but the Illumina Crown I have covered on this channel already and is looking really promising. Details yet to be announced. When we look at the actual FireStarter platform, and if it's interesting to make an entry right now, we would basically need to look at the actual FireStarter tiers and access to the actual IDOs that they cover. So I've mentioned this on this channel before when I previously spoke about FireStarter and if it would be an interesting launchpad to buy into right now. It is basically focused on lottery, and I don't play lottery, I only go for guaranteed allocation. So they have the tiers Light, Spark, Smoke, Fire, and Flame, and you get a base allocation multiplier per tier. So 8x, you need flame power requirement of 25,000 flame, and the cooldown period to participate in IDOs is not applicable to the top 10 on the flame leaderboard. Lottery tickets to win more than 50. Guaranteed allocation, however, is top 25 on the flame leaderboard, and hero holders are qualified for guaranteed allocation. So either you need to be in the top 25 or you need to have a hero NFT, and the amount of max allocation depends on their tier as well. So basically the cooldown is something to take into consideration, right? If you want to play the lottery, you can play the lottery. I am going for guaranteed allocation. If I would make an entry on FireStarter, I'm just going to run the numbers right now to see how much it costs and what would be interesting, right? So let's go to the flame leaderboard first to see how much token we would need. So we're going to look at the top 25 holders, which they're holding about 49,000 flame power, which I assume one token is 1 flame power, right? How to increase your flame power? Well, we can just quickly go to the FAQ. Locking tokens, 1 flame token is 1 flame power, and a Metaverse Champion NFT is 4,500 flame power. All right, I will take that into consideration. So I need to be in the top 25 holders of FireStarter to basically get access to that. which is fine. I also want to look at what the actual IDO price was of FireStarter if I can find it. I'll quickly head over to CryptoRank, pull up FireStarter just to see if people participated on that IDO, what the price would be. So it basically IDO'd at 6 cents, which these people have a 10x return, and I assume that most of the people in the leaderboard are not huge players. They probably come from the IDO, which would make sense, most sense in my opinion. You can see some people are holding these NFTs, which gives them about 4,500 flame power, and they have guaranteed allocation. So if somebody pushes you out of the top 25 into the top 100, you no longer have your guaranteed allocation, right? So you get guaranteed allocation here because they have their NFT, right? So you do not necessarily need to be in the top 25. As long as you have your hero NFT, then you get guaranteed allocation. Otherwise, you need to be in the top 25. But I would say if you want the most allocation, then yes, be in the top 25 and hold an NFT would be quite fruitful indeed. So that's what I'm basically looking for. These are all in the flame category, right? The highest tier. So we're talking about between, so the last spot, definitely where you don't want to be, is 36K in terms of flame power. So that's about minus 4.5, 32, which is about, well, divided by 50 cents, right? So $16,000-ish in terms of tokens, which then you would need to have in order to get to that level. However, we want the guaranteed allocation, so we might want to take it in bite-sized chunks and first consider what these NFTs are. So under NFTs, ultra rare NFTs with platform utility, collect, trade, ignite, own the future. So there are 11,111 NFTs igniting in the future of the FireStarter Metaverse, free to claim for early community members. So they have already done this, 10,900 price free. And over the course of time, each of these will ignite into a hero. However, there is no specific guarantee that the heroes moving after the actual hero NFTs, which basically give you early whitelist benefits, invite to the FireStarter Metaverse Discord, and governance participation, airdrop events. They give you guaranteed allocation. It is nowhere mentioned that the next batch of flares to ignite into heroes actually give any of these perks. They might be very, very different. When that happens is also still unknown. So the FireStarter Metaverse collection, there is about 11,000 total with 4,000 holders. When we go to the buy now, there are about 1,000 for sale currently. At the pricing is extremely low. So if we look at this flare, it's listed for $1, right? You could buy this flare for $1, which I think, depending on the roadmap, right? If I would invest about $20,000 in this platform, right, I would probably snack up 100, 200 of these NFTs as well. Why? Solely due to the fact, so it's $20 each, right? That's not a problem. Solely due to the fact that I think I would make it into a long-term play, right? Having many of these would allow me to get more valuable NFTs in the future. And as I am a long-term investor, more of a long-term player, specifically in the IDO Launchpad niche, I love doing IDOs and launches. I truly see high potential there. And there's like many listed for like $2. So I think I will go on a buying spree and at least buy dozens of these that are listed for so cheap. Maybe skip out on the $20 ones from now. Just buy the flares that are currently available. Some of these say no content available yet. I don't know why. FireStarter Metaverse Collection 4A3. And this one is, so these are flares and these are non-flares. So there must be a difference there between the actual flares. So these are a flare. And then whatever this is, I would assume it's the same thing. It just doesn't have the content. So yeah, you definitely have to do some research on it. why some are being displayed and some are not being displayed. What is the difference? How does it work? The main important thing right now, see, some are here again displayed. I would just join the Discord and ask it over there. It's the easiest way. In other news, I want to know about these hero ones because they tend to be quite expensive. They give you guaranteed allocation on FireStarter. Bitfloor sitting at about 4.6 Ethereum, which currently is $10,000, which is definitely not a cheap purchase. So you need 10,000 plus 16,000 in worth of tokens. You don't have to, but I would want to. Why? Because I'm cocky like that, right? When I participate in a Launchpad, I want the highest possible allocation. I would commit to it for the long term, and I can definitely afford it. So I would spend about $26,000 to get the highest allocation tier on FireStarter. Which I mean, when you look at the buy now opportunities, there are only 13 listed. So it's 4.6, 5.4, and then the price rapidly shoots up, right? So definitely there are not that many in circulation. When we look at the sales, specifically the last 3 hours, 2 got sold, and they both got purchased by this one guy, which is quite interesting. How many does he have? Because maybe this is just buying to flip. But it appears that he's holding all flares. He's a FireStarter maniac. 1, 2, 3 in his portfolio, basically. Yeah, I think that's quite smart that he's stacking up on those NFTs right here. Definitely. So yeah, this is something that might be interesting as well. Just buying one of these FireStarter Metaverse champions, holding on to that, buying some tokens, and perhaps buying some flames. It would definitely be a long-term play for me, right? The hero as well, the NFT, would give you basically the guaranteed allocation, which I think is the most important thing for me. If I want to participate, I want to participate consistently, and if I want to participate, I want to participate without any cooldowns or anything like that, as they have displayed in their overview, right? So if you would go to the FireStarter General, they say that if you're not into the top 10 on the Flame leaderboard, right? Not applicable to top 10 on the Flame leaderboard, you don't have a cooldown period. Otherwise, in between IDOs, you need to wait 7 days, which I think is a little fucked up. I don't want to do that, right? I just want to participate with everything I can participate. So when we look at the actual opportunity here, it is definitely to get into FireStarter early, right? It would, in my opinion, be one of the best launchpads to buy right now on the current Bitcoin dip. That's obviously why I'm covering it. That's why I covered it 3 times before and I still haven't pulled the trigger. But it appears to be one of the good things that I've waited. Usually waiting is not really my thing. I'm quite sporadic in that case. I would just look at something. If it's interesting, I'm going to buy it. But this time I've been a little bit more careful and it has slowly declined down. I did make an entry, I think at somewhere around $1, and then it went up a little bit to like $1.20. I sold it again. It turned into a quick flip because I realized I didn't have enough tokens anyway to get some proper allocation. So this time around, if I do have that opportunity, I do want to do it right. So I would buy in a significant amount, right? And I would do that in KuCoin most likely, yep, because most of the volume is positioned there anyway, and I do have a lot of USDC there, so I can switch that easy to USDT. And then if I would make that move, I would also pick up at least 1 hero and about 100 flames, probably. And as soon as I would do that, it basically means that I'm in it for the long term. I'll probably hold this for 6 to 12 months. Not only for the FireStarter tokens itself, not only for the hero appreciation, but also looking at the fact that on the actual run, when this platform did well in a normal market, in a bullish market, it was at around $3, right? In the average case scenario, it was about $2, which is already a 4x return on the token. If I put in 25K, which means that if the market recovers, I'm looking at about 100K, plus the maximum allocations that I receive into IDOs. This is possibly a no-brainer for me, right? Obviously, we're talking about 25K. This is not little money. I do have to think it over, but this is one of the best opportunities, in my opinion, in terms of launch pads, because the team appears to be quite capable as far as I've been told. You know, they have made some mistakes in the early days of the platform. They have definitely spoken about it, which is obviously quite refreshing, because normally companies just like to push that under the rug. No, they have actually told the community about it, what happened, how they are going to improve, and taken action on it. So I think that is extremely promising. Everything is looking extremely good right now. One thing I do want to show you about the actual staking, locking of the flame. You would have to do a KYC first, which is obviously important, because it means that my US people unfortunately cannot join, and other blocked countries. And then you would need to lock your flame, and you can see which tier you belong to. There are some penalties: less than 10 days, 10%, 5%, 3%, and after 30 days, you can unlock it at a 0% fee. The tokens that are unlocked too early will be burned, which is obviously a nice way to cut the circulating supply. You can also stake it through a liquidity yield, and it gives about 97% APY, not APR. So I definitely don't think that's worth it, specifically in the current market conditions. And then you can link your wallet as soon as the KYC is done. You can get an overview on your portfolio, what's available to be claimed. Of course, you can also do this on trackdigits.com, the best investing tracker website possible. Anyway, when we look at this project, this Launchpad, I do think it's a great entry right now. I will consider it and keep everybody up to date when I do make an entry in my Discord. So there will be a major announcement what, how, and why, and how much money I did end up investing. Join the Discord through the link in the description down below. This is everything for today. FireStarter, in my opinion, one of the best launchpads to enter right now for this bearish pattern of the Bitcoin market. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.